Hi, I'm Zandy from So I Make Stuff, and I'm going to be doing a little demo on how I weave in my ends as I knit color stripes. You can see that this is going to work on anything with an even number stripe with either garter stitch or stockinette, whatever you're working on. Sometimes when you're doing stripes, it's really annoying when you can't carry the yarn along the edge and you have a bunch of ends to sew in when you're finished. So this will just show you how to reduce some of the finishing when you're done with your piece. The first step is to cut the yarn 4 to 6 inches from the end of the row. Then in the next color, get ready to start your row by making a loop, again with 4 to 6 inches of a tail on the other side of the loop. And you're going to hold these two strands together as you start the row. Pick up your knitting and take the tail that is in your non-active color and hold it between your middle and index fingers. You're not going to use it on the first stitch, but you'll be using it soon. And now get ready to knit. The first stitch, you're going to take the loop and start the stitch, place the loop over, and knit the first stitch with that loop, as you would a normal stitch. Then, still holding these two strands of your active color together, put the non-active yarn up in the back of your work and knit a stitch under that color. Don't pull it through the loop when you finish your stitch. You should have a plain stitch with two strands now. Then put the yarn down and knit a stitch as you would normally with both of the strands. And just repeat this again. Put the yarn up and back, knit through the loop under that back yarn, and then knit a stitch as you would normally. Now that you've done 4 stitches with the double yarn, you can drop that little tail and continue to just knit with the yarn up and back and down and back and up and back and down and back. And then drop it and continue your row as you would normally. Now you can see I've finished my green stripe, I've cut the yarn, and I'm ready to start a new color if that's what I want. There is, maybe you can see a little bit of a ridge along the edge where the yarn's held double, but that doesn't really show up in a project, and it's not very obvious compared to the time that you save. So here's an example. This is the pattern that I was working on when I developed this technique for weaving in ends. You can see there are a lot of color changes at the end of rows where you can't drag the color along the edge. So it has really no obvious lump. You can see I've woven in exactly the same way all along the right edge, but there's really no obvious change in gauge from the front looking at this pattern. So if you're interested in trying this project, it's called Fox Paws and you can find it on Ravelry. And if not, have fun making your stripes and not sewing in ends later. Bye.